Hey, what's up guys? Out here on the 2018 Ibis HD4. Pretty stoked on this this new offering from Ibis. The HD3 was a hit, everyone knows that. I mean, such an incredible bike climbing up and also descending down. And you know, DW Link is the suspension that Ibis uses, and it's known for, across all the manufacturers who use the DW Link, just how high it stays in its travel when climbing and descending. Super good climber. HD4 is no different. Anyway, that's probably the first thing I think I noticed, you know, just 10-15 minutes into the steeper section of this climb. By the way, I'm riding with my buddy Marshall today. Thanks for coming out with me, bro. Yeah, just 15 minutes in the climb. And every time I get on one of these bikes, I'm so stoked on how high it stays in the travel. Feels really firm. I'm climbing in the open position on the shock, and it feels good. Surprisingly well. As you guys know, I don't go into too much of the details on geometry and specs. There are some things worth noting and mentioning. This is built geometry-wise kind of like a big bike. Like, numbers are real similar to the new Santa Cruz Nomad, the Pivot Firebird, but you'll notice it doesn't have a 170 millimeter fork, and not 165 or 170 in the rear either. So 153 in the rear on this guy, 160 on the fork. Haven't descended on it yet, but I'm betting it's pretty sweet. Also, really long bike too. They've lengthened this bike out a bit. So I'm 5'8", weigh 145 pounds, and I'm riding a small today, but 5'8" on a small. Crazy. All right, well, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. We do bike reviews mostly, throwing some lifestyle type videos here and there and trail rides, but mostly we focus on bike reviews. So welcome, stick around. Got a nice little community growing here. So thanks to all the people who've been with me for over a year now. Can't believe it's been a year. Anyway, finally on an Ibis too. I've got so many comments, questions, emails saying, when are you gonna ride the Mojo 3? When are you gonna ride the new HD? Well, today's the day. All right, we are almost to the top. Almost to the top of Jacob's Ladder. Just climbed about 2,000 feet on the HD4. And man, I didn't want to say this. In fact, I wanted to say it like 30 minutes ago, but I wanted to just wait and ride it and see. This thing climbs really, really well. Like, much better than I thought it would. Better than my Nomad N3, better than the Nomad N4. Like, really impressed. There goes Rob on his HD4. Oh, it's funny. Anyway, let's head down this thing and see how it goes. All right, following Marshall down Jacob's Ladder on the HD4. So far, I totally dig this bike. Feels really, really stable at speed. Really stable, actually. Need to get used to turning just a little bit. It feels like a really stiff bike, so it kind of responds just ever so slightly different. Man, it's just really poppy off everything. Really, really poppy. It's a stable bike, and it feels actually pretty long. Longer than my Nomad N3. There we go. Yeah. This is a great little agility course for any bike. So I always like to get in here. Lots of tight turns, really flowy. Man, it just pops off everything. And I said this on the climb, but I love how supportive DW Link suspension is. It just really stays high in its travel and is really supportive. There we go. No pedal strikes at all on the day. And I oftentimes get pedal strikes on these trails, or at least on the upper part of the trails. No pedal strikes at all. I'm riding it with the DPX2 shock. You can also get this bike with the Float X2. It accommodates that larger shock, and it even has this little indent in the frame for the climb switch to put it into the firm setting. Man, just tons of grip. That feels really good. Kind of got on my brakes on that one, but it feels really good. It also fits a small water bottle inside the front triangle, a 22-ounce water bottle. And they've switched the link, changed the linkage just ever so slightly. Oh, grabbed the tree with my handlebars. That was a little scary. All right, down here in the lower, kind of loose, fast stuff. Every once in a while, I need to do a little note to self, little reminder to just lean that bike over, get my weight on the outside of that pedal, and let the tire find some grip. This bike's a good reminder of that. Dude, this is a sweet trail bike. I would be really interested to see how this does up on a lift service day, riding in a ski area, up on the downhill, real downhill tracks. These trails are pretty moderate. The upper part, Jacob's Ladder's got some good gnarly stuff with some 1.5 to 2 foot drops, but most of this is all pretty tame. I'd be really interested to see how this does up on the really steep, gnarly stuff. It feels like a big bike, climbs well. I just like a lot of stuff about this bike. Should probably mention I got this bike from Utah mountain biking in Lehi, Utah. Mike is the shop owner over there. Go over there and see him. He's got Ibis and Rocky Mountain, and if you're local, go say hi to him. See if you can take one of these Ibises out for demo. Really, really cool bike. Hey guys, just got back from my ride on the 2018 Ibis HD4. Man, it's a sweet bike. The numbers on it on the computer screen on their website make it look like a really big bike, and it is. It's a long bike. Geometry is super slacked out, and it feels like a big bike, but it rides like a trail bike. Like, it's really poppy, really snappy off every little hit. It just flies right off. We'll zoom in here real quick, and you can kind of just see what I'm showing you here. This one I rode was XO1 Eagle. DPX2. You can get it with a Float X2 on the shock there. Also, the factory Kashima coating on the fork there. The bike was rad. I rode a small. I also spent some time on a medium. I'm 5'8". You know, I'd probably go with the medium. The small felt good, but you can just see how much seat post is showing on this dropper. It's a short dropper. It's a 125, but still, I'd probably go with the medium at 5'8". Maybe try both of them and see what you think. But man, I loved this bike today. It's really poppy, good traction everywhere. I should mention that too. This had the Minion 2.6s on there. Not sure how much that played into it. I know they made a lot of changes to the frame, stiffened it up, stiffened out the whole rear linkage. I'd say if you have an Ibis dealer around you, demo one. It's definitely worth your time and money to demo this bike. Loads of traction, fast everywhere, and stable on the chunky speed. When you're going fast, it's really a stable bike. Anyway, I hope the review was helpful. If you liked it, share it with a friend. That's it. Get out and demo one. Thanks, guys.